Welcome back for Lesson 1.3. First, let's review from Lesson 1.2 and let's have a warm-up. I'm going to ask you some questions and just answer them. All right, let's go. What are you going to do tomorrow? Who are you going to meet next week? When are you going to study math? Where are you going to go next month? How are you going to go to school? All right, now that you're warmed up, let's move on to the lesson. So first, we're going to talk about frequency. Here, you can see our frequency adverbs. At 0%, we have never. Just past 0, we have hardly ever. Next, around 50%, we have sometimes. Then just past 50%, we have often. Then usually. And last, at 100%, we have always. We use these adverbs to talk about how often we do something. If you want to know more about these adverbs, please look at your Atlantis textbook, pages 8 to 11. Now let's practice using these adverbs by talking about your usual week. Let's get out our Lesson 1.3 worksheet. You can find this worksheet on the Study Supply website. If you want, you can print the worksheet out and write directly on it, or you can follow along on the computer and write on your own piece of paper. This is what the Lesson 1.3 worksheet looks like. It has 4 pages. As always, at the top of your paper, write your name, class, and number. Please do that now. Today, we're going to look at a normal student's schedule. So let's introduce Kay.
Hey, I'm Kay. This is my usual week. It's pretty normal for a student, but wait until I tell you about my very unusual day.
On your worksheet, you can see Kay's usual weekly schedule. So now, let's take a closer look at it, and let's ask and answer some questions using the frequency adverbs. We will go from what he never does to what he always does. Does he take the bus to school at 9 a.m.? No, he never does. He always takes the bus at 8 a.m. How often does he go out to eat? He hardly ever goes out to eat. On Saturday, it says eat out or someone cooks. This means maybe he does not go out very often to eat. How often does his mother cook? His mother cooks sometimes, about 3 days a week. If you look at the schedule, his mother cooks Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. That's about half the time, so sometimes. Does he have free time? He often has free time on weekends. If you look at Saturday and Sunday, he has a lot of free time. When does he study? He usually studies after dinner. If you look at the schedule Monday to Friday, after dinner is study, homework, or free time. So he usually studies after dinner. When does he play video games? He always plays video games on Wednesday. If you look at the schedule, every week on Wednesday, he has time to play video games, so he always plays at that time. Now it's your turn. Use the blank schedule on page 2. Fill in the weekly schedule with your own. Write what you do and when you do it. You can be as detailed as you like. Again, if you need to, use your Atlantis Textbook pages 8 to 11 for more ideas. Also, use the schedule from page 1 as more inspiration. Now that you've filled in your schedule, let's take a look at part 2. On the next page, there's a story about an unusual day. Kay used his schedule to create a story. He used parts of his usual day, and then he used his imagination to create a very unusual day. So together, let's listen and follow along to his story.
I usually wake up at 7 a.m. on Monday. But today I woke up at 4 a.m. because my room was bright and shaking. I looked outside and saw a big spaceship. I always go to school by bus every day, but today the aliens took me to space school by spaceship. I often go to tennis club, about 4 days a week. I couldn't go today because I am not on Earth. I hope the coach won't be angry. He never misses practice or school. I was lucky they brought me home before dinner. My mother makes dinner on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. She would be angry if I wasn't home. I am sometimes late because I take too long in the bath. I try to go to bed by 10:30 p.m., but today I think I will go to bed early. I hardly ever feel this tired from a usual day.
Kay's story was a little silly, but it was also very interesting. So now let's look at page 4. Now it's your turn. On page 4, you can write your own story. Directions. Use your memos from page 1 to write your own funny story. Be as creative as you can. Make sure your story is 50 to 100 words. Of course, you can always write more if you want. I can't wait to read all your stories. I'm sure they're really fun. Remember, bring your stories when we return to school, and I can give you points on stamp card number 1. All right, so that's all for lesson 1.3. Remember, if you have any questions, you can comment on this video, or you can wait until we're back at school and ask me then. All right, I'll see you next time. Bye.